Goldie, thanks very much for coming, mate. Brilliant pleasure. Thanks for coming along. What did you think then? Because it's your first Access to Music Awards.
Yeah, it was. I think it was really, really good. Very professional, really good. I'll tell you what I am really impressed with. I was really impressed with that Ed kid. I think he's going to be giant.
Yeah, I think so.
I really do. I'd actually produce that kid.
Really?
I really would, yeah. So let's put the word out. I think that he's got an absolutely really raw talent. I mean, he's 17 years old and be that talented. And also, I think the rest of them were you know, mind-blowing. You know, I mean, Soweto and all the rest of the guys supporting, you know, the music. I think it's just one of those things that it really is interesting seeing. You need, I think, in this field, you need to have a base almost. And I think people like me that were quite lucky in a sense, because I was a bit one of those little bit of a pit bull that wouldn't let go of the idea of. And I think if it wasn't because I was invented before in doing graffiti and painting, you know, it's very tough. And I think it took me best part of 20 years to really get established. Even when I was, you know, when I was 17, 18, at the age of these kids at playing. You know, I was a graffiti writer and running around New York and trying to, you know, deface walls and learn who I was, you know, amongst puberty and everything else. And then falling into music accidentally, which a lot of people do, I think within that chaos, I think that a lot more people, it's almost a bit like if more people get access to it, we'd be surprised at how talented people really are with music. And that's the frightening thing about it, because there, you know, there used to be just me in the electronic field running forward with a, you know, a cutting-edge genre. Now there's like loads, and there's everything behind you, and there are all of these, you know,
support mechanisms as well.
It's really important to get a support mechanism, because I think a good way of looking at it is, I think in England especially, when the country gets a little bit uptight or it slightly declines or it's economic, I think the one thing that we always turn to is music. And throughout the ages, we always have done that. And I think when you look at things like the system in Venezuela and what they've done with classical music in turning that around, I mean, here having all of this access to this music and having all these kids that can get involved, I think it's a really, really good, great criteria to do that.
Brilliant.
And you know what I really love as well? The fact of the live aspect.
I mean, this is, you know, this is good that it's all live music, and you know, some of them haven't done hardly any gigs at all, and they're turning it out that sort of quality of music.
I think it's brilliant. I mean,
that shows dedication for sure.
It does, and also it shows the right learning technique, because it's I think, yes, you can learn on your own, but they're not taking that away from you. They're saying, with the way that you do things, maybe we can enhance it. And that's the difference, you see, because I think music school,
we can't do it for them.
You can't do it, and you know, that's really, really important that you can capture that, I think.
And also, I think what we try to do is give them opportunities, because, as you know yourself, a gig is worth 1,000 rehearsals. So if we can give them real opportunities like this, you know, real shows, we do tours as well, and you came up to the National Festival, you know, real gigs that they can get involved with is really important, don't you think?
I also think that the live gig aspect is what you call is what I call the melting pot of ideals, and I think any gig that you think's over is really the beginning of the next, and I think that's how you have to treat it. It's one of those things. Oh, was it right? Could we have done better? And all of those, the real spontaneous, going out there in front of a crowd and doing so, even is really mind-boggling sometimes. And that's really important to get them into that feeling of, you know, I can be here and I can feel comfortable. And it's a performance. And it's something that is the beauty of live music, that it can move around as well. And as long as you get the electronic side, which you obviously cater for from a programming, you know, facilities to do all of these great things. And like we said months back in one of the lectures, it's about bringing all those people together, and that's one of the most important things with this music. It's brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. 3 words or 3 pieces of advice, if you were to give anybody starting out now who wants a career in this industry, what would you say? 3 words or 3 short pieces of advice, what would you say?
Must have patience.
Must have patience.
It's just that you have to. It is one of those things that the one way I've always worked it out for me, what really sends it home, is that the more work you put behind you, and the more you tuck under your belt, even if it's an unfinished record or something you've written, the more of that you do, something's got to give. And those are the next three words. Something's got to give. You know, something's got to give, and it really has to, because, you know, if you build yourself up with that attitude, it's just has to. It's going to get pushed out of you, whichever direction it goes, and that's really important to keep nestling and nurturing what you've got. Yeah. And don't think that just because you don't have to necessarily finish something. No. And I think a lot of kids today, they're into this perfection of finishing, and it's really. It's about the ideals. Get
one away, get out there,
get one away, and get it away and do it.
Yeah, brilliant. Goldie, always a pleasure, mate.
Thanks
for, and we do appreciate your support, and hopefully we'll see you again at some other events.
You're going to bring a spare set of trousers for you next time, Jono.
So
you can
Top
fix
man.
these flies.
Thanks.